Hi, welcome to Conversations with Carissa. I am getting ready to sow my seeds, literally, you guys, sow my seeds for the fall. And I was doing some preparation in my soil and how I want to organize my seeds. And so I might be a little late for some of them, but I'm just going to go ahead and give it a try anyway. I started out maybe about 3 weeks ago with this container right here. And as you can see, there's nothing in it now because, well, it wasn't 3 weeks ago, it was about 2 weeks ago. And you would have thought that I would have seen something. And I did use this potting seed starter. I did use this, but I don't know, I think it kept drying out and it just wasn't germinating like it should. So I'm going to do something a little different, and it may be, I might not supposed to be doing this, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. But before I get into all of this, you guys, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And so I'm going to also, I mentioned to you all about I had a flop with my potato harvest, and I'm not giving up, you guys. I also see, I'm going to show you in the other pot where you can see the potatoes, and it really fooled me, but you can see the potatoes through the soil. And so I'm going to add a little bit more soil to the pot, the one that I didn't harvest yet. I'm going to add some soil to that and kind of fill it up almost to the top of the container itself. And then for these potatoes in here, I went ahead and stuck, I don't know if you can see it, I went ahead and stuck the potatoes that I pulled out anyway in water. And so I'm going to go ahead and just plant those again too, but I'm going to cut these all the way back. I'm going to cut them all the way down to the ball, just to the root, you guys, and start these and just kind of put it aside as well. And so again, before I get into this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, you guys. Okay, all right, okay, so let's get started. Okay, y'all, so this is what I did for the soil. So I went ahead and I am using again the Miracle-Gro seed starting potting mix. I am using this again. However, I added this bone meal, a little of the bone meal to this, to see if this is going to help it. Now, it may be wrong, y'all, but I'm going to give it a try anyway and see what happens. And so, I also didn't do this. I didn't wet my soil down, but I didn't wet my soil down, I guess it was last year, when I planted these bell peppers. I didn't wet them down. And so they did, they did germinate and everything, but it did take some time for it to do that. And so this time I'm going to go ahead and wet the soil down and see if that's going to make a big difference. And then not only that, I think what I'll do is add more seeds to see, and from there I can just go ahead and get those that germinated. I can go ahead and kind of get them to growing and then repot them. And so I didn't plant enough, and maybe that's the reason why it's just kind of taking long, because it took these right here forever to come up, and I have not switched it over yet. And so these are the red bell peppers here. And so I had all kinds of stuff in here. I had some lettuce, I had some onions. At one point they were coming up a little bit, and then they got dried out, and it was just it was just a hot mess, you guys. And so this time, what I will be doing is I have labeled my containers. Now these containers right here, this was an old bread container. This was a container that I had I can't think of the name of the bread, but I had bread in here. And again, I got my egg cartons in here as well. And so I've labeled them the way on what's gonna go what, the seed, how the seeds are gonna be planted. And then this time I'm gonna close this up, let the moisture stay in and see what happens. I think I needed to let the moisture stay into the containers so that it can germinate. And not only that, I had it in the hot sun. And so this time I'm still going to keep it outside because I don't want it to I think there might be an issue if you have it in the house. You started out in the house, you got to bring it back outside and let it get kind of used to the weather on the outside. I don't want to go through all of that. I want it to get used to the weather now. And so what I'll do is just kind of keep it away from the sun. Some people were kind of like using plastic wrap to kind of keep the moisture in, but this is going to be good in keeping the moisture in. And then these containers here, these containers right here, I got these little tops that went with some tin pan containers, and I'm just gonna kind of put it over here, and it just works really perfect. I'm just gonna cover it up and just try to keep the moisture in and keep it away from the sun for now. All right, I'm getting ready to get into this, you guys. First, I am going to add water to my soil and kind of get it wet a whole lot. This got holes in it, so I'm pouring over here because it has holes in it. Now, Roderick planted some, he planted some peppers too, and he also planted some, the jalapeno peppers. He was the one that planted the jalapeno peppers. But let me tell you, I was ragging him so bad, you guys, when he did this. This was about a year or so ago. And it wasn't really a competition, because mine's really started growing much better than his, the pepper, I say. And what he did was he wet his soil up real good, y'all. And I was like, that ain't how you do it. That ain't even how you do it. But next thing I know, his stuff started shooting up. I mean, it started germinating and everything. And so I'm going to kind of try this out. I'm going to try it out and see if I can get the same thing. And then one of the things he did do that I still don't suggest is that he just kind of emptied out a whole pack of seeds in the container, and I thought he was using too much. And again, he was kind of in one particular section, but I understood his idea. And so I'm gonna kind of put a whole lot more, but not to the point to where it's just in one little section. And so I got my soil good and wet, y'all. Good and wet. It's real wet. Good and wet. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and fill these up. Fill these little containers up, y'all. Okay, you guys, I have in this section, this plastic section, I'm gonna have kale, arugula, kale and arugula, and I'm gonna have my okra in this container. And so I'm just gonna take this whole area over here, I don't know if you can see it, this whole area here, and just fill it up with okra, and just fill one side up with the okra and then one whole side with the arugula. And so between these two sides, you guys, I should get at least a few of them sprouting up. Okay, so I finished one container and I'm getting ready to start on these little containers here. You can get these containers You can get these containers from either Lowe's or Home Depot or your local planting shop or what have you. And so these were pretty good. And this is the burpee container. And so my onions are going to be over here in these, and then I will do the beans over here, and I'm going to plant 2 whole rows of the onions, different types of onions, one on one side, one on the other side, and the same for the beans as well. And so I'm just going to go ahead and just put the soil in it, you guys. One thing I like about these trays right here is that you can press up on this when you get ready to take your plant out. You can just press up on this little green thing at the bottom, and it comes up, it pops up so easy, you guys. I have 2, yeah, there's the other container. And so I mentioned to you guys that I was going to direct sow in the container, in the larger containers. I think the only thing that I'm going to direct sow is the garlic. I'm just going to go ahead and just do the garlic. And then for these, because I want to see if these are going to come up. I don't want to do a direct sow over there. The garlic is a little different. I don't want to direct sow the rest of, or try to direct sow these vegetables, because I don't know, I just kind of wanted to just focus in on planting them in these little containers right now, and then kind of get it to where everything is starting off in these little containers. I can focus in on one area. I'm not concerned about the garlic because it's just going to be in a larger container, and I know that they're going to do pretty decent with that, with it being just direct sold or what have you. I don't even know if you could, I don't know if you can do garlic any other way but to put it in a container in general and just let it grow. Okay, I've got to get a little bit more for this section over here. And so my beans are going over here. My bush beans, my burgundy, and my green bush beans are going on one side, and then the onions on one side. And so then it'll be ready for me to start planting there. Just a little bit for this other container. And so I'm going to add a little of this bone meal, you guys. Just a little, y'all. Again, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this, but I'm doing it anyway. Just kind of mix it in real good. Add a little water. H2O. Get it all mixed up real good. And probably got to do a little bit more because I want to plant this Swiss chard too. And I'm going to plant the Swiss chard in this container here. Okay. I am ready now to go ahead and pop my seeds in, y'all. I'm ready to pop my seeds in. Okay. So we got onions, our beans, kale, arugula, okra, and over here, what was I putting over here? Oh, let's see. Okay, so we're doing broccoli over here, and we're doing lettuce over here as well. The variety lettuce I'm gonna plant over here. Now, I got one little stem of lettuce that's growing in this container here. This container here. See if you can see it right there. And I'm not sure what type of lettuce it is. And so I'm just gonna kind of plant the variety lettuce along that line as well. I'm only just gonna do one row. I'm not gonna do a lot. And I'm gonna do 2 rows of the broccoli. Okay. So let's start out with my onions first. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop several seeds in, just several, y'all. And hopefully between these several seeds, something will come up. And hopefully this method I'm doing is gonna work. I'm not counting it. I'm not counting how many seeds I'm putting in here. I'm just dropping them, y'all. Now, I'm not planting them too far down. I'm just kind of planting them midways down. And so hopefully we'll get something, y'all. We'll see something good. Just covering them back up. Drop these back in. Alright, so I got my onions done. And so now we will start on our beans. Ooh. The water got to these beans, y'all. Now, some of these beans are cracked, and so I'm not going to use those because I don't know if that's going to work or not. So I'll just kind of pick through and just plant. I guess I'll try to plant 2 of these beans. I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to tell y'all what's funny. I got some of these beans in the freaking, well, no, I don't have these beans. I'll take that back, y'all. I was getting ready to say I had some of these beans in my pantry, but I don't have these types of beans. Y'all, I might be doing this wrong, planting these big old beans together. I don't know. My husband is in the back. He's trying to get rid of a lot of his clothes that's either too big or too small, and so he in the back modeling for me to ask me if I know it's outside, y'all. Turn around, baby. I think you can work. You can work it. He remodeled his closet, and we're remodeling our closets, you guys, and you'll see that as well. But he did an excellent job. I'm so proud of him. He did a real good job on his closet. Okay, so I put 2 of these beans, y'all, I don't know if you can see it, I'm just gonna show it to y'all. I'm gonna show it to the people who don't garden. But these how the beans look, y'all. They look like that. These little beans. But for those that are gardeners, I'm not showing it to y'all because y'all already know how it looks. And so these were the burgundy beans I planted, the burgundy beans. And now I'm going to do the green beans. So these are white, y'all. I'm going to put 2 of them in here. Hopefully one of them will work. Will germinate. Alright, I got this tray done, so we're going to put this aside, and I'm just going to put this container over it, and it is ready, so I will put this aside over here. We'll start in on the next one. This will be our broccoli and the variety lettuce. Okay, so these are kind of small, but just gonna, that's too many right there, y'all. That was too many. Okay, so this is done, and I'm just gonna put it aside as well. So now I am planting in this container. I'm planting my kale, arugula, and the okra. Okay, that's kale there and that's arugula here. Okay, you guys, this is how the okra seed looks. See if you can. It looked like this. That is interesting. I'm still gonna plant. I'm gonna plant 2 in each of these. Again, like I said, I just don't know how well they're gonna come up, any of these seeds, because I just lately been having not really good luck in getting these to germinate like they should. Okay, so I got my okra, kale, and arugula planted, you guys. I got that done. And now I am going to start in on the garlic. I'm going to start in on this garlic, you guys, because I need to get it done. And so there will not be seed. I'm not going to do. Hold on, let me go get the garlic. All right, y'all. I am getting ready to plant my garlic, and this is how the garlic is looking. So I got this garlic, y'all. I got this garlic from local grocery store. Got it from the grocery store. And there, you're supposed to plant the garlic with this point right here up. And so I'm going to plant about 6 of these. This is the largest one. So hopefully, with this being the largest one, that the garlic, when it's time to harvest it, that it comes out pretty, a nice size, you guys. And so this pot should be large enough to plant this garlic in, okay? And so I am going to, this little tool here, the little shovel, it has like a measuring thing on here. So it has a little measuring thing on here. And so I'm going to plant the garlic at least 5 centimeters. I think it's 5 centimeters on here. I think that's what it is, 5 centimeters down. So that's going to be, I might have to do it. See, that's about right there. That's about right there. So I might just plant it about 6 centimeters, because I don't want to repeat what happened to my potatoes, you guys. And so I'll just kind of plant it down, just measure it, and then I'll do about 4 inches apart. I'll plant them at least 4 inches apart and just see what happens, y'all. Just see what happens. Okay, and so what I'm using for this is the raised bed potting and mixing. It's the organic, and this is what I've been pretty much using throughout the whole garden or what have you. This is what I've been using. And then I am going to use this black cow. I'm going to use the black cow fertilizer, and I'm going to use this bone meal. I'm going to use this bone meal again. Now, this is my first time using the bone meal. I did use a little bit in the containers for the seeding. I did use this. I'm going to use it in this as well. So hopefully, it live up to its word. And I heard that it's pretty good. This is another, it's for organic gardening, and it's supposed to provide bigger blooms and roots, y'all. And it provides phosphorus for bulbs and other flowering plants. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay, so let me get into this because it's getting kind of dark. And so I want to show you guys the potatoes. I've got to top that off with more soil so that we can kind of build that back up and we won't repeat what we did with the first harvest of the potatoes, you guys. Add a little bit more. Y'all, I'm trying to get finished with everything today. And so the next thing I'll do is go back in and prune the rest of the garden and get the other containers kind of prepped as well for. And I know I got about at least a good 3 weeks. We're going to give this a good 3 weeks, you guys. I'm talking about these other containers, and I'll show you in a few minutes so you'll see the end results. And so I went through and watered, just kind of sprinkled a little bit more water in the container so that I can make sure that it's definitely, it's going to be kind of moist and hold its moisture rather. I'm adding this black cow. I don't know how much you're supposed to add. I'm just putting it in here, y'all. I'm just doing half and half almost. And just pray for the best. Okay. Okay, I got some of that bone, that blood meal over there. I think I'm gonna use some of that blood meal too. And I'm just eyeballing it. You know, I'm not even going by what the instruction says. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Whew, okay. And this is the blood meal. I'm just gonna kind of take a handful. Everything that I'm pretty much using is organic, because I want to make sure that I have an organic garden, free from what insecticide and all that other stuff that they put in it. Put in your fertilizer or what have you, or your soil in general. And so I'm just mixing it in. This soil is full of nutrients, y'all. So something definitely should bound to pop up, garlic rather. Pop up. Okay, I think that's good enough. And so, as I said, I'm going to plant at least 6 centimeters down, about a good 4 inches apart, and I'm planting 2, 4, 6 garlic cloves, and they are to be planted with the pointy part of it up. And I didn't add water to it like I did the other ones. I'm just going to add the water at the end. I really thought I had more garlic. I'm gonna go inside and see if it is, because I really thought I had more than just 6. Excuse me, 6. For this pot, this size rather, 6 is enough. Because I'm planting them at least 4 inches, about a good 4 inches apart. All right. Okay, so this is it for planting the garlic. And so I'm just gonna kind of water it and probably go over it again with the water hose. And I do have a hole in the bottom of this pot for drainage, y'all. I think I'm just going to put this pot over there because I have an open spot, so I'm just going to put it over there. I was going to put it on the other side, but I want to make sure that I have everything in front of me All right, so I'm done with that. So the next thing I'm going to do is bring you guys over so you can see the potatoes and see how they're just they just kind of peeking through. But now that I look at it even kind of deeper and closer, I noticed that that's just the root of it. That's the bottom of it. Don't ask me why it did that. Maybe I just didn't plant it further down. I don't know, but I'm going to build up the soil so that it can give it some time to, and I don't want it to burn the potato that is actually showing. So I'm just going to build up the soil, you guys. What I'm going to do is show you guys. Wow, they all are showing, and they even sprouting more leaves on the potatoes that's already there. So I'm hoping that you can see it. Okay, so that's one right there. See that? And it's sprouting more. And then that's the root of this plant right here. And so I'm just gonna go and let me make sure that you can see it right there. I think you can see it. It's right there. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and build it back up. So I'm going to use the soil that I had that was in the other pot. I'm just going to go ahead and just use the soil over here and just build it back up. Okay, y'all, I am done with packing this with almost to the rim, you guys, but not quite. I'm going to go ahead and water this, and then I'll go ahead and start on the other pot. But I'm just going to probably do that completely offline because I don't want this video to be too long. And so that's it for the planting or what have you, and kind of topping this off so I won't make the mistake that I made with that one. And at least this one will have a chance in producing larger and more potatoes. I have red potatoes and I have white potatoes. I don't know exactly what type it is, but I have those growing in here. And so I refuse to touch them. Even when it's time, I refuse to even touch them because I want them to get large. I don't want to repeat what happened before. And so that is it with the video. But before I kind of, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys to make sure that you give me a thumbs up on this video, and to keep your fingers crossed that that those plants that those seeds that I planted, that they do germinate. And I'll show you the containers, and so you'll see how they look. I might end up, I saw someone put saran wrap around their containers to make sure that the moisture stays in. And it basically, what I'm kind of creating is God, it's the tip of my tongue, a greenhouse effect. I'm trying to create a little greenhouse effect. One day I'm going to have a greenhouse in this yard, you guys. I've been wanting one for, oh my God, as long as I've been dibbling and dabbling in planting. But now I've been really diligent about having a garden. And so hopefully maybe next year I have one. But we're just going to create a little small greenhouse effect with just each of those containers. And so I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, you guys. Okay, I will see you on the next video.